The Canadian Football League's Players Association is on strike for the first time since 1974, JC, after they failed to reach an agreement on a new collective bargaining agreement ahead of the deadline Saturday night. With preseason games now on the line, there's one scheduled for Monday in Regina. Who is going to blink first?
I think it'll be the league that blinks more than the players do. There'll have to be some movement on either side, obviously, to get this done. But the way I see it right now, the players are galvanized, and the league has massively overplayed their hand, and now they've got a mess in front of them. They have to deal with that. And so they have to do some of these reasonable asks that the players have when it comes to being more transparent on revenue sharing. I think that movement's going to come pretty quickly here, and we could have a deal within the next 24 to 48 hours.
I think we will have a deal in the next day or two. I think we're closer to the end of this strike than we are to the beginning of the strike. And I think at the end of the day, it comes down to leverage. And right now, the players have a lot of it, right? Players do not make their normal game wage for preseason games. They do get paid, but it's like 20% of a normal game wage, and they don't get paid to practice in training camp. So if you're in a position where you're not missing out on any meaningful revenue until the regular season gets underway as a player, you're happy to sit and not bang your body against a 300-pound man in training camp risking injury, right? As opposed to the league that's going, wait a minute, we actually make a lot of money on these preseason games because season ticket holders all have to pay full price for their preseason ticket, or at least most do. I shouldn't say all do. Attendance is generally good. People are generally happy to get to the stadium for preseason games because it's their first chance to get out, enjoy the nice spring weather, get back to the stadium, have a couple of beers, see their friends they maybe haven't seen right in their section since the previous season. And of course, hope springs eternal, right? Every fan is excited about their team in May. They're not always excited about their team in October or November, but you know, those games where they don't have to pay the players very much are big money makers for teams across the league. And so I think the players have been smart. I think they've realized we've got a lot of leverage in the short term, and we should use it to our advantage and show the league that we're not afraid to go on strike for the first time in almost 5 decades.
Ultimately, what I hope the takeaway from this has been, and you never know with the CFL what they'll ultimately interpret this as, but that the league needs the players more than the players need the league. And I think anyone with half a brain could have told you that coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic, when all these players realized that there was other opportunities off the field, that they could make good money, that football wasn't the only thing out there for them. That's part of the reason why we have this strike, is because all these players have realized, well, if I'm not going to get a fair wage, or I'm not going to be a partner with the league I'm playing in, then why would I bother when I just spent a whole year, learning how to work in an office, or becoming a teacher, or becoming a fireman? I have this job that can pay me pretty equivalent money, sometimes more in some situations, and I don't have to bang my head up against a 300-pounder every day. I don't have to risk injury and long-term effects. If they're not going to pay me what I'm worth, then why would I play football? And the year off really helped players realize that. I don't think the CFL entered this negotiation with that understanding. I hope they realize it now.
I agree. And to the league's fairness and to their credit, they have reportedly offered some concessions that I never thought we would see. One is the possibility of veteran contracts being guaranteed for multi-year deals. Not the first year of the deal, but second or third years of those long-term contracts being partially guaranteed. I never thought we would see that in the CFL. I never thought the league would agree to that in a million years. Reportedly, they have. That would be a huge step to ending the transiency issue that we have in the league, where veteran players are playing with Team Y one year, Team X the next, and Team Z the year after that. Fans hate it. I don't think the players like it either, to be quite honest. And this is a good concession from the league. The other thing that I'll say, and this is my personal opinion, the players seem to have pushed back hard against the possibility of having 12 padded practices a season. Anybody who plays along the offensive or defensive lines, and that's oftentimes where we stick Canadian players, right, to meet the ratio requirements, knows you need to be able to have contact in practice in order to continue developing. 12 hours of contact a season is not a big ask. That's an area that I believe the CFL players should have some give here. And again, if we are close to a deal, which I believe we are, then I do think that that is hopefully an area that the league will actually get their way, because I do want to see the return of padded practices